Using off-highway vehicles, commonly known as OHVs, safely, responsibly, and ethically can enhance the hunting experience for many people. OHVs allow hunters to access remote areas more easily, spend more of their limited time hunting, carry supplies and equipment, and retrieve game. Off-highway vehicles also provide people with physical limitations a way to hunt and enjoy the outdoors. It is important to remember that along with the advantages of using an OHV during your hunt come many responsibilities and legal requirements. Using OHVs on public lands is a privilege, not a right, and we need to make the right choices in order to protect that privilege. The decisions you make as a hunter using an OHV could affect not only your freedom to use OHVs during the hunting season, but also throughout the rest of the year. Riding OHVs can enhance your hunting experience when it is done safely and responsibly. You must recognize that operating OHVs involves risk, and accidents do occur. But you can minimize that risk by taking the right steps to protect yourself. Begin by taking an approved OHV safety course. You can find out how to enroll in a New Mexico approved course by contacting the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish. Training is available online at www.beforeyouride.com. When riding an OHV, always wear an approved helmet, eye protection, long sleeve shirt, full-length pants, gloves, and over-the-ankle boots. You also should consider wearing high-visibility orange clothing to make it easier for other hunters to see you. Never carry a passenger on a single rider vehicle. Riders under 18 should always be supervised by an adult, unless they have a valid driver's license. And they always should ride an ATV that is the right fit for their size. Young riders must wear a helmet and eye protection, possess an OHV safety permit, and never carry a passenger on their ATV. Always ride at a safe speed and only on designated areas and routes open to your vehicle type. For safety reasons, transport only unloaded firearms. Develop the habit of checking the chamber of your firearm every time you pick it up or remove it from a case. Always treat every firearm as if it is loaded, and keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Arrows must be secured and broadheads covered. It's important to understand that the same rules and regulations that apply to the recreational use of OHVs on public lands in New Mexico also apply to OHVs used during the hunt. Your ATV or motorcycle must have a valid registration permit, a quiet muffler not to exceed 96 dBA, and a U.S. Forest Service approved spark arrestor. In addition, hunters using OHVs must obey all federal, state, and local laws, rules, regulations, ordinances, and orders that pertain to vehicle licensing, registration, permits, and traffic laws. As a hunter or OHV operator, it's important that you know before you go. It is your responsibility to know where you are and which rules apply on the property where you are traveling and hunting. The best way to know the applicable rules is to check with local law enforcement and land management agencies. If you have questions regarding specific hunting unit rules and regulations, or questions about jurisdiction in areas where you'll be hunting, contact the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish. Obtain travel maps of the area and use them in the field. Learn the rules and regulations for the areas and refer to the map before you follow a route that is not signed as an open route. If you aren't sure of a particular route, don't ride on it. As a hunter, it's important that you understand which trails are open to motorized use, even if you don't plan on using an OHV. That way, if you are on or adjacent to a legally open route, you won't be surprised if you encounter an OHV. With very few exceptions, using OHVs to retrieve game off designated routes is not allowed. So think about how you're going to retrieve the animal before you take the shot. Know the location of the nearest legal route for your OHV. And know how you will get your game back to that location without using your OHV. By the way, avoid retrieval of game during prime hunting hours by limiting retrieval to the late morning and early afternoon hours, and always be courteous to other hunters. And always remember, it is illegal to shoot from an OHV unless you have a mobility impaired certificate issued by the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish. Never use an OHV to stalk, chase, drive, or harass wildlife or livestock. When setting up camp, always check with the Land Management Agency to see if it's okay to use your OHV to travel off the roads and designated trails to reach your campsite. Venturing onto posted private land without permission from the landowner not only endangers everyone's privilege to hunt, it also is trespassing and is illegal. Remember to always get permission before you go on private property to hunt or retrieve downed game. Always leave gates the way you found them. If a gate is closed, close it behind you, no matter how short your stay in the area, and do not block gates with your parked vehicles. Being responsible means obeying the laws, rules, and regulations that pertain to hunting and OHV use. Exercising good ethics means making choices based on what's right for the environment, natural resources, and other people affected by your decisions. Many times, a choice you make may not result in an illegal outcome, but it may have a very negative impact on the land, the game, or someone else trying to enjoy the outdoors. To put it simply, the way you use your OHV can impact the quality of other hunters' experiences, as well as their ability to harvest game. Ride only on legal, designated areas or routes. Riding cross-country can damage sensitive soils and plants, and it can disturb and displace wildlife and livestock. Other riders are likely to follow your tracks, and a new illegal trail could be the unintended result. Stay out of wetlands, earthen tanks, and muddy areas. If the road or trail you're on is too muddy, using it could damage the route and cause erosion and soil displacement into streams. Think while you ride. Always ask yourself, am I causing damage? To put it simply, do what's right for the ground and our natural resources. When passing camps, buildings, or other people on the road or trail, ride quietly and at a walking pace, and keep dust to a minimum. Protect your privilege to use OHVs by understanding and obeying all rules and regulations, and by constantly practicing the know before you go philosophy, by obtaining current maps before entering an area, and by always staying on designated areas and routes. Remember, if you aren't sure about the trail, don't ride on it. Respect and protect our natural resources and unique cultural values. And above all, be aware of the impact of your actions on the environment and the enjoyment of others who are sharing with you the New Mexico outdoor experience on public and private lands.